Hello, my name is Carrie Kirkpatrick, and I will be presenting the Learner-Centered Classroom. There are a variety of ways that teachers can support learners in and outside the classroom. First, educators can provide students with a safe learning environment. One example of this is when teachers bring culturally diverse materials into the classroom, such as music and pop culture. Second, students can be connected to resources that will help them excel academically and emotionally. Additionally, when educators follow learner-centered principles, a higher order of thinking takes place. When students become responsible for their own learning, their confidence increases, and they will discover their intrinsic motivation to learn about the things that interest them the most. A community of learners is defined by many things. For example, a community of learners might be a classroom with trust where students collaborate often. However, it could also be a group of students who are learning in a themed environment such as arts, technology, and business communities. In fact, collaborative learning plays a key role in a community of learners. During collaborative learning, students build trust and rapport with each other. The community of learners can also include the parents who are there as an additional support system for students. There should be a clear line of communication between teachers, students, and their parents. In addition, teachers must provide constructive feedback for students so they can know where they can improve. Collaboration and cooperation play an important role in the learner-centered classroom. Rather than expecting students to use class time working quietly, students should spend time in the classrooms collaborating and exploring the content. Because of this, a flipped classroom has its benefits. First, students can learn at their own pace outside of the classroom. Second, students can use class time to apply their knowledge and experiment with the information at hand. There is a misconception that teachers should be the only source of information during the class. However, that isn't the case because students can learn in a variety of ways other than teacher-to-student lectures. In a teacher-centered classroom, students are likely to work on their projects at home, away from their peers and teachers. Instead, in a learner-centered classroom, students can have additional support from their teachers and peers. This support will benefit them and help them reach a higher level of thinking. In addition, the teacher can facilitate the learning environment to be sure that it is conducive to effective learning. Another principle of a student-centered classroom is receiving instruction that is culturally aware and interesting to students. The content presented should be meaningful and relevant to each student's life. When information is applicable to their experiences, students are more likely to remember and understand the information at a higher level. In addition, this method of learning relies on students' previous knowledge and adds to it using a hands-on approach. In my current approach to teaching, I find that I often ask students to reflect on how they learn and promote academic success in a culturally aware and safe environment. I also put great effort into providing age-appropriate materials in an interesting way. Keeping students engaged should be a top priority, otherwise students may fall behind. My current classroom environment promotes student risk-taking and achievement by providing a safe space where students can explore the content. It also allows students to take risks by providing them with the proper resources to gather information, analyze it, and use it to come to a new conclusion or ask a new question. Making sure to include elements from the cognitive domain ensures that students are processing and applying the information they are learning. Using Bloom's taxonomy to choose lesson objectives can be helpful and provide clear expectations while keeping in mind the importance of the cognitive domain. Using the problem-based learning approach, students will strengthen their understanding of the content and be more likely to actively participate. Problem-based learning requires students to identify a real issue and brainstorm a variety of ideas and solutions. By brainstorming as a team, students can get a unique set of ideas that will influence the final solution for the problem. Because each student has their own life experiences, each group will have their own unique solution. In addition, following federal, state, or local standards is a great basis for teachers to design their lesson plans. Standards often go beyond providing an expectation for content by including interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills help students build confidence and allow them to become leaders in their classroom and communities. For example, Ohio's learning standards for science curriculum include scientific inquiry, which can be the ability to solve challenges that students' communities face. It is also important that through these standards, students learn that science is a part of everyday life, and everyone should be part of the discussion. Figure 1 is an example of the learning structure for a problem-based learning unit using Bloom's taxonomy. First, students will learn to describe and compare the material before finally organizing and classifying that material. Figure 2 shows the know, be, do chart for a problem-based learning unit. In this problem-based learning unit, students will know how to collect data. They will learn how to perform mind mapping. They will be mindful and environmentalists. They will do research and develop a plan. A learner-centered approach can help teachers better serve diverse students with different needs because problem-based and collaborative assignments can allow students to share information, ideas based on their own experiences, and varying solutions to a variety of issues. Teachers must be ready to adapt their content to any situation that may arise. The rise of the COVID-19 pandemic showed teachers that anything could happen at any moment, which could very well result in the need to transition to a different way of thinking. Teachers who previously did not use much technology in their classrooms faced major technical challenges, while teachers who already had made a transition to a hybrid style class fared better. That being said, teachers must stay up to date with the latest technologies to provide the best experience for their students. After all, today's world is fast-paced and constantly changing. Teachers and students must be willing to adapt. It is important that all educators understand what is required of a learner-centered classroom. Each school should provide professional development to ensure that all faculty understand how they can enhance their classroom and the learning outcome for their students. The best way to show educators how a learner-centered approach works is by having them participate in one. For example, teachers can participate in an activity as if they were the students themselves. Before the activity, each participant will be required to complete a self-evaluation. After the activity, they will complete the same evaluation and compare the results to see how their thinking has changed. There will also be another portion where teachers can brainstorm their own ideas for how they can implement these ideas in their own classroom. If teachers write down their ideas, they are likely to remember them for the future. To properly implement a learner-centered classroom, teachers should consider using a flipped classroom and learner-centered principles. One benefit to the flipped classroom is that it reduces the stress of students, which is often inflicted by assignments. In a dual language classroom, it is also important that students feel seen and can share their culture and experiences with their peers. Students should have ample opportunity to communicate with and collaborate with their peers. Finally, students should be able to plan and implement their ideas using hands-on approaches in the classroom. While planning classroom activities, teachers must prepare a variety of inclusive and diverse materials. It is especially imperative that teachers have a deep understanding of the topic themselves. Teachers should also prepare information about things happening in the local community. For example, if students are learning about environmental problems, the teacher can bring materials that talk about ecological problems in the local community. By doing this, students can realize the importance of what they are learning and will find more interest in the topic. Thank you for listening to my presentation.